Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, with all the notes that I search, obviously I'm looking for fancy serial numbers. But because I search so many notes, I probably am not going to go out and buy any fancy serial numbers because eventually I'll find one. Some fancy serial numbers are pretty common and worth about 20 bucks or so, radars, repeaters, stuff like that. Others, like 8-digit ladders, stuff like 2-digit serial numbers, can be rather expensive because they're really tough to come by. So, what you might want to do if you are interested in collecting those but don't want to fork out huge amounts of money, consider finding foreign currency that has the fancy serial number. Fancy serial numbers are a big deal in America, but not necessarily across the world. So, yeah, there may be notes out there, but they don't get the premiums that the U.S. Notes do. So you may be able to get the type of note you're looking for a much cheaper price than you ever would if it was on U.S. currency. Now, yeah, every one of us would like a U.S. note with those numbers, but if you don't want to spend $1,000 or $2,000 on some of them notes, well, this is your out. This is your way to work around that to have the fancy serial number without paying that price. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. All right, there's my 1,000 singles. Let's take a look at what I found this week. Starting off with a Where's George? Where's George notes have no additional value. People try to sell these for $7 to $10. You simply can write Where's George on a note, log it into the website, and spend it. That's a Where's George bill. You can go to Office Max and have them make you a stamp. Well, if you make a stamp and then stamp 100 notes with Where's George, does that mean your $100 are now worth $700? No. There's, like I said, no additional value. But Where's George is a very neat tracking project. You can go on where'sgeorge.com, type in the serial number, and see where the note's been. Then, of course, you spend the note, and if someone else logs it, you will get an email saying where that note is gone. So really cool, really cool, fun project to do. All right, I got a trinary here. This is 3's, 5's, and 6's. It's got 5 5s in it. So what? It's a trinary, and it's not worth anything. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 6 5s. Still not worth anything. If the 6 5s were together, it may be worth a couple bucks. And if it's only worth a couple bucks with 6 5s, what's it worth with 5 5s? Clearly nothing. Another trinary, zeros, zeros, 2's, and 4's. Oh, they're all even. So what? That's not a thing. 2's, 3's, and 8's. This is 3's, 5's, and 9's. Here we've got 2's, 4's, and 8's. And it's quads, and it's 6 of a kind, and it's still worthless. And it's all evens. So no, all that's still not worth anything. If that 2-8 was 4-4, that would be a solid, and this would be worth $1,500. But it's not, so it's not worth that. Quad 6s on this one, quad 8s, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3's, and it's a trinary, 3's, 9's, and 8's. So this is like the third week in a row I found five in a row. So once again, that's not rare. Got some stars. 2017 A star, not filled. Always check them. 2017, 2013. And then that was it for stars this week, just 2 of them. Older notes, 2003A. 2003A in rough shape, that'll go away. 2003, 2003, 2001, 2001, 2001. A lot of those lately. 1999. 1999, 1988A, and it's crisp. That was a nice find. And then what do I have here? Well, it took a while, but I found one. I found a radar. If you start on the end and work your way in, the number reads the same forward and back. 0812-2180. Once again, start on the outside, you've got zeros, and then 8's, and then 1's, and then 2's. Now, ideally, you'd want the The block to be LL, or, well, it's not going to be SS because there is no S reserve, but ideally that would be the best way to find this particular note. Some of you may even notice that the zero is slightly higher. Oh, it's a gas pump on a radar. It's worth $1 million. No, no, it is not. Gas pump errors are only worth money if they are raised high enough to where a portion of the digit is missing, or you can see a portion of the next digit. So no has no additional value for the raised digit, but it does have value for being a radar and being in really good condition like this. I bet you it's in the $20 to $40 range. So that's a good find. All right, so what do I have this week? Well, speaking of fancy serial numbers, yes, you can find the fancies, but you're going to have to go through a lot of notes to come up with some of the doozies. So rather than buying one of these particular notes, for thousands of dollars, I found one on eBay from a different country, and I was able to check it off my list of things I wanted in my collection. This is from the Philippines. It says Banco Central, and it says Philippines. It's from 2005. 2005 to 2010 is what it says on there. It is graded. You can see the grade 66 EPQ, gem uncirculated. And you can see Republica and Filipinas. I don't know. And once again, another name I'm not even going to attempt. But it's on a $100 note, 100 peso note. And it does have a watermark on it. You can see the watermark right here, so that's pretty cool. But why did I get this? Well, I'm sure most of you figured that out already. Look at the serial number, 888888. It's a solid 8's. So that's pretty cool. Someone was able to spot this note and they sent it in for grading so that it'll be preserved in this good condition with that fancy serial number. Now, they did. This is how you know you have a good one, because they put a notation, solid 8's. On the actual grading sleeve, it's listed on there. If you think you have a fancy serial number, you've got quads, and you send in your quads to be graded, and they don't write quads on there, it's probably not a fancy serial number. If you have a trinary, if you have a true trinary and you send it in for grading and the grading company doesn't write true trinary on there, then you've been had. You've been ripped off by somebody because it's not a real fancy serial number. But when it says solid 8's from the grading company, well, yeah, a solid is clearly an actual fancy serial number. Now, the best part about this is most solids are going to cost $1,000 to $1,500, with solid 7's and solid 8's being in the $2,000 to $3,000 range, because 8's are lucky in the Asian culture and 7's are lucky in Western culture. So 8's tend to be more expensive. 7's tend to be more expensive compared to all the other, compared to solid 2's, for instance. So once again, solid 8's, and I bet I don't remember exactly what I paid for this, but it was under $100. Well, much better paying under $100 than $2,000 to $3,000 for solid 8's. So that was my find on eBay. And once again, if you're looking for specific fancy serial numbers, finding them on foreign notes are going to make them much more affordable. And the notes are actually pretty cool. I mean, look at all the different colors that you see on there, the different watermarks, the different security features that are on the notes. I mean, I held it up to the light and you can see all the stuff going through the paper. Once again, there's that watermark. So just to check out the notes in and of themselves are pretty impressive. Here's the year 2010. So yeah, what a good way to dive into world currency, and that would be looking for the fancy serial numbers like that. All right, guys, if you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week.